2 overtime games, a completed Hail Mary, a failed 2-point conversion, devastating the Broncos, and a ton of injuries to talk about this week. Let's get into it. Here's your host, Steve. Welcome everybody to Steve's Show. I'm your host, Steve. We did pretty good this week on our picks. Not as great as last week, but we are 19-11. We're still looking well over 500. We're going to go ahead and talk about all the games, all the key injuries. We do have a Packers loss. Oh, it's very devastating to me. Very, very devastating. But we'll get into that. I do want to talk about some of the takes I've had this week. Anthony Richardson, again, very explosive, looks phenomenal, but he is reckless. He is running with force, and he is taking hits. He is now in concussion protocol. We don't know if he'll be playing next week. And he's going to have to make some changes to his running style so he can stay healthy, because the Colts do need him. I think Bijan Robinson is going to be the Rookie of the Year. I don't think there will be a doubt about it. That running back looks like he's been an NFL star for quite some time. He's fast, he's big, he crouches behind that line, and then he bursts up the field, and he's actually, the defender's like, wow, he's big. Like, we don't want to take a shot from him. As for the Packers, I think the Packers need to get healthy. We had a tough loss against the Falcons. I think we could have had a better chance of winning that game. Several turnovers, several interceptions that could have went the other way, went right through our hands. Quay Walker hit him on the hands. Jaire Alexander could have been pick 6 the other way. So a lot of mistakes that we're going to have to clean up and get better on to next week. The Bears are still bad news, so there's no really good news for the Bears. And Baker Mayfield is baking for those Tampa Bay Bucks. He is playing tough. He is playing physical. He's playing relentless. Mike Evans is stepping it up. You know, he's proving to them that, like, yo, I need to be here. I'm still a great receiver. You know. Seattle coming in and beating the Lions, who defeated the Chiefs week 1. That was a huge win for Seattle to make a comeback on that, even in their OT. We had 2 overtime games this week, but Seattle scored 37 points against Detroit. So obviously Detroit has some work on defense that they're going to need to pick up on. Joe Burrow, he's getting better. Still a little shaky at times. They still lost 27-24 to the Ravens. Ravens, good team though, can't complain there. Cincinnati, you know, like I said, I think they're shaking off the dust, and they'll be just fine later on in the season. However, not many teams with an 0-2 start have made the playoffs. But we'll see if some teams can change that. Them and the Vikings. Bills Mafia, stand up, man. 31 for 37, 0 interceptions is your quarterback, Josh Allen. Incredible game for Josh Allen, coming off a terrible week 1 performance. Very excited to see what he's going to do in week 3. He's got kind of like 2 ends of the spectrum here. We don't know where he's going to fall, maybe somewhere in the middle. Hopefully, he keeps on driving forward to his MVP status that he wants to play at. The Raiders. Let's talk about the Oakland Raiders. I think they're kind of a mess right now. Jimmy Garoppolo, Devontae, Josh Jacobs, they have these names, but they're just not performing. I mean, they put up 10 points against the Buffalo Bills. We don't know how good the Buffalo Bills defense is, but I mean, they gave up a bunch of points to the Jets, so we'll see there. I think the Raiders need to step it up. You don't see too many explosive plays from them. And with only 10 points on the board, you're not going to win too many NFL games like that. The Jaguars this week against the Chiefs, guys. 9 points on 3 field goals. They did not score a touchdown. Where was Trevor Lawrence? Where was Calvin Ridley? Christian Kirk had a good game, but couldn't find the end zone. You can't win an NFL game not scoring a touchdown. It's just not going to happen. Maybe once in 100 games, maybe. Tennessee Titans, Tannehill was efficient to come off a win with against the Chargers in overtime, 27-24. I thought he was pretty efficient. We look at his numbers, and he was 20 for 24. He only lost 4. Missed 4 throws. He had a touchdown in there. Good rating. You had Derrick Henry do his thing. 25 attempts for 80 yards with a touchdown. That's workhorse numbers. That's a lot of attempts. I would like to see him get over 100 yards next time, but you can't complain there, especially if Tannehill's slinging the ball like that, completing 20 out of 24 passes. So, can't complain there. That was a good game for Tennessee. Cowboys. Hey, what about them Cowboys, huh? Again, 30-10. They only gave up 10 points to the Jets. Micah Parsons, is he the best defense player ever? I think it's going to be in question. He is phenomenal. When I watched that game, it seemed like every play he was getting in on the backfield. So he is a stellar player to watch. That whole Cowboys defense is, and I'm really thrilled to see what they're going to be doing on my fantasy team for numbers this year. So that should be exciting. The Dolphins. You know, they're looking like they made the right decision not getting Dalvin Cook with his fumbling issues and Mostert coming alive week 2. Big game for Raheem Mostert. Miami's looking like they might have a run game. And, you know, Tyreek Hill didn't have the biggest game ever, but it's the Patriots. Like I said, they're going to shut him down a little bit. He still ended up finding the end zone. Better than all these other teams that haven't scored a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Moving on to the Saints, who played the Panthers. I thought it was a pretty boring game. It was 20-17. I didn't see too many explosive plays. I think both teams need to, develop. As, the Saints need to develop chemistry with their guys, Derek Carr, and their 3 receivers that they got. Carolina, still a young quarterback, Bryce Young, who's looking better every game, I feel like. He found Adam Thielen for a touchdown. He had 7 receptions for 54 yards and the touchdown. So, again, I think Carolina will start picking it up. They got Miles Sanders as well, and Chuba Hubbard with a solid running back group there. They just need to pull off some wins. So, moving on to the Steelers against that Cleveland Browns, man. Those Steelers. That defense started the game hot, and it ended the game even hotter. Pittsburgh won that game because of their defense, and hopefully they can show up the rest of the season, because that team's going to be tough to beat when your defense is that good. So as long as your offense can step it up, you had George Pickens with a big game, finally. 4 receptions with 127 yards and a touchdown. Very happy to see that, because I, for one, have him on one of my fantasy teams, and he's been on my bench because I didn't know if I could start him, and now I believe he might be able to get into one of my flex spots. So that is exciting. So that brings me to, should we start George Pickens? I think you should start George Pickens if you're low on flex. It depends how you are on wide receiver, but George Pickens, as long as the Pittsburgh defense is going to be playing well and getting that ball back to their offense, George Pickens is going to have a lot of opportunities. So I think that's a good start for George Pickens. We had the 2 overtime games. We also had a completed Hail Mary pass by the Denver Broncos. An incredible play. The ball came up short around the 4-yard line. It got tipped off on a few players and then caught by a Denver Bronco in the end zone. They still needed the 2-point conversion just to tie the game. So they went for it, and they didn't get it. And the Denver Broncos lose by 2 points. What a great game. 35-33, though. Very exciting. I did not think that Hail Mary was going to make it to the end zone, and it didn't. So I was like, there's no way that's going to work. But it did. Incredible. I do want to end this video with a couple of key injuries. Obviously, everybody probably knows if you are into fantasy. You got Nick Chubb out for the season. I had Jamal Williams, who is going to be missing some time due to a hamstring issue for the Saints. Also, by the time he gets back, you'll have Kamara back out of suspension, so you might want to be careful with a Jamal Williams pick on your team. Austin Eckler is still questionable. We don't know what's going on with him. The coach said there's no timetable for return, but he still projected points on some fantasy leagues, so really it's up in the air. I guess it's a day-to-day basis to find out what's going on with Austin Eckler. Jalen Waddle also questionable. Saquon Barkley hurt, gonna miss some time. If you're looking up for a backup, I believe they have Brightwell and they have Matt Breida. I think there's better options out there for running backs. Kareem Hunt just got added to the Browns, so now that Nick Chubb is out, he'll be most likely one of the starters for the Cleveland Browns again in their backfield. You also have Joe Burrow re-injuring his leg. We don't know if he's going to replay. I think he should be questionable for the next couple weeks, if anything. Maybe up until their bye week to make sure he can get healthy. David Montgomery for the Lions, due to miss some time, I believe. Questionable right now, but Jahmyr Gibbs should see a full workload next game. We have Deontay Johnson out, and for the Packers, we lost Elgton Jenkins, and we're still without Aaron Jones and Christian Watson. We're hoping they get back week 3 because we need some help. I'm telling you, the Packers need a little bit of help. We looked good against the Falcons, but we made a lot of mistakes, and if we had some stars out there helping Jordan Love, I think the game would have came a little bit easier to him. So that's going to be our Week 2 recap. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be coming out with my Week 3 picks. They'll be coming out on Saturday morning, I believe, so I hope y'all stay tuned for that. Hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you next time. Have a great day, everybody.